So let's actually get into this. While Discord has whatever conniptions it wants to have in the background. How very annoying. But hey, there's some Rivals Marvel things, and I figure I should probably try and keep up with the game a little bit more rather than waiting 19 months and then there's 18 new heroes and 4,000 new skins. So let's take a look at the new stuff that's in the Rivals video game now, which is primarily a couple of new heroes. A couple of interesting ones. I guess we'll start with the obscure one. So, I had absolutely no fucking idea who the hell White Fox is when I first heard that this character had gotten added to Marvel Rivals. Like, fortunately, Sir Superhero, always reliable with the comics lore, put up an explainer like outlining who this character is, and as I'm going off of memory here, if you want the full story, go actually watch this video. Going off of memory, this is a character who was first introduced in a Marvel webcomic that was like on Webtoon or like one of the East Asian webcomic platforms that was running for a bit. And then she sort of sporadically has shown up here and there in other minor roles in various places. She's had, like, I think one title where she was, like, the title character. But other than that, she's sort of bounced around. And she used to be just sort of a generic superhero. And then eventually they were like, oh no, she has Nine-Tail Fox powers, but the Kumiho, like the Korean version of the Nine-Tail Fox thing. And as things have sort of developed up to this point, she's well, as it says here, she's the director of Tiger Division. She's sort of turned into Korean Nick Fury, leader of, like, the Korean Shield Division, sort of. But she's always been, like, a really obscure, specific character, which I think Marvel was only ever really trying to push in their efforts in the East Asian market. So seeing her show up in Marvel Rivals it's an odd pull, but it's one of those little delightful things that Marvel Rivals likes to do, where they sometimes, most of the time, it's the famous heroes from the famous things that everyone's heard about all the time, and then occasionally they just pull something deeply obscure out of nowhere. And, like, it might partly be about serving the Asian market, right? Like, that this character is specifically the Nine-Tail Fox type of character, which, like, has a certain level of popularity in East Asian markets, that it's a character who is specifically Korean, for that matter, right? Like, who is, like, rather than, like, the awkward thing about Daredevil, right, is that they sort of took him and they put him in, like, a Chinese legendary afterlife realm, where he sort of plays the role of a character from Chinese mythology, but the actual character is, like, I think, is Matt Murdock Irish-American, or is he, like, Scottish? Like, where he's like a Catholic white American man, right, who's playing this very specific role that's very grounded in Asian mythology. This is sort of doing the opposite thing, where we take a character who's like, no, this character is actually grounded in that stuff and is actually sort of aligned with those things, and then we're bringing them into a video game that's serving, in good part, an East Asian market. Like, that's probably part of the marketing reason for why they would add White Fox to the game, right? But, like, I think it's delightful. Like, I think it's good that they pull from obscure things, that they pull from shit that isn't just the Marvel heroes that everyone has already heard about. Because, like, this is more interesting. Like, this gives you some new characters to see and some new things to experience, rather than, you know, Iron Man for the 486th time, right? Like, because we have Iron Man. At some point, I'm sure they'll add War Machine, but we kind of don't need War Machine, do we? We don't need War Machine that much. I guess the thing that sort of... Oh, yeah, someone's saying it in chat, actually. I guess the thing that sort of is most strange about Marvel Rivals is just how few X-Men characters are in here. Like, Storm, Magneto, Wolverine... Psylocke technically is an X-Man still. I think this version is still like a mutant. Oh, yeah, she's a mutant. Okay. Rogue. Does Scarlet Witch count as X-Men anymore at all? Because she's not a mutant, right? Like, she... Or is she? It changes by the hour if Scarlet Witch is a mutant. Oh, right, Magik is technically a mutant. Right. Or is she? Wait, she is, right? Magik is a mutant. No, Deadpool is not a mutant. That's the thing about Deadpool. He's not a mutant. Technically, he's not a mutant. He was for a while. Like, again, it's fucking comics lore. They've retconned him in and out of that shit 500 million times. He's associated... Well, actually, there's probably plenty of mutants, come to think of it. Now that I'm counting them, there's probably plenty. Because I keep forgetting about Emma Frost. Yeah, it's probably a good proportion. I guess it's weird that... What is it that... Okay, so why did I think that there weren't that many mutants? I guess it's because my primary engagement with X-Men is a long time ago. And I just don't remember how many of these fucking characters are mutants anymore. That's probably why I thought. Anyway, White Fox. Not a mutant, I believe. Although I don't actually know what the source of her powers is supposed to be in the comics. Like, she's the last... Like, she's a Nine-Tailed Fox, Kumio. I don't remember where her powers come from in the comics. I don't think they super define what her powers are or where they're from. I think she can transform into a fox in the comics. So I guess let's see, what do we have here? Oh, she has a fox form. Ooh, that looks cool. Can I see that in the cosmetics at all? I guess, kind of. But not really. Okay. That feels like... It feels like there should be a way to see the fox form. I guess we'll have to go in-game for that. Okay. Okay, well, let's look at the base design first. Because, like, as a character design, I'm not really sure what to make of her. I guess the main thing they're going for is director, right? Like, director of the Tiger Division, I guess, is the main thing that they're doing here, right? Like, with the suit, with, like, the fucking... Like, the wide lapel thing that opens up and kind of gives her sort of power, like, the padded shoulders vibe a little bit. Like, the sort of, the business pumps. Yeah, I guess the main idea is that she's the director of Tiger Division, right? Like, that's the main thing, and then she happens to also have superpowers. So it's like businesswoman superpower thing going on to sort of give her a specific place. It is, once again, a character who's not... At least she's not blue and white. But it's like... It's a very bluish teal, and she's got the blue tails, and she's got a white secondary color, so it does continue my personal slight annoyance with Marvel Rivals, like how much fucking blue and white they put in there. They flashed up a skin bundle of some sort. No, we'll deal with you later. They flashed up a skin bundle of some sort when I opened... Yeah, that one. I can't tell who that is. Is that Invisible Woman? Is that Luna Snow? Oh, okay. Because I could not fucking... I can tell that's Magik because of the horns, right? But I could... Like, I guess LS means Luna Snow in this case. Okay. Because the blue and white, it happens a lot in Marvel Rivals. Like, there's so much blue in general, and the blue and white thing is so common. And I guess they've avoided it here technically, but they're still sort of playing in the same space. And I wonder the degree to which this teal is, like, specific to her. Like, what's the meaning of the color teal in relation to her character? Like, and this is where, like, I wish I knew something more about color theory in Korean culture. Like, whether that color has a specific association. Or a specific meaning. Because I do know that in old Chinese mysticism, there is a very specific... They have this thing about 5 elements, 5 cardinal directions, and supposedly also, like, specifically, I think there was 5 colors that was sort of the basis for all other colors. And within that, I believe green, blue, and like some other shades are specifically associated with like one element and like one temperament and one organ. Like there was a very specific systematized way of thinking about colors, which I would wonder if that has any specific association with her color scheme here. I'd be curious about that. I have to do some research about that before I do like a review for the short channel about her. Outside of that, I think her suit is a bit boring, honestly. And it's that thing about, like, she's supposed to be, you know, like, business lady first, superpower second. So I guess it's kind of supposed to be work-a-day business suit. But it is that tension that exists where, on the one hand, she's supposed to be kind of boring. On the one hand, she's supposed to be wearing a kind of respectable day-to-day, I'm the director of, like, the sort of Korean government organization thing. But then on the other hand, they can't help but try and zhuzh it up, right? They can't help but try and do something with it, so you get these metal arches on her thighs for God knows what reason, and across her arms that are like, they're sort of decorative, they're dynamic, they're bright, they're shiny. But they're also like, why would you wear that to the office? It's also that sort of thing of like, why would you wear that to the office? Why would you, again, if the idea is business casual office wear, how do you have like a logo emblazoned on the back like you're a fucking wrestler? It's like, this is... So the vibe is a little bit, you know, a dozen of one and six of the, half dozen of one and six of the other, where they're sort of trying to have their cake and eat it too, and I don't really know that this is a particularly successful fusion there. It's sort of the point where I can't help but feel that giving her a much more regular suit, business suit, like maybe just in black even, and then using that as a strong contrast with like her tail, so that her superpowers, so that all the supernatural superhero shit is in contrast with the suit that she's wearing, right? Like that these two things have a certain tension with one another, where she's playing two roles, right? That might be more compelling from a visual perspective. It's also because it's very monocolored ultimately, right? It's supposed to be, you have this teal, and then we sort of contrast that against like her silver hair and like the white colors. But if you sort of like squint at it, it's just a lot of teal. It's a lot of exactly the same color with not that much breaking it up. She has this corset thing, which, like, I think it's supposed to be the main thing that breaks up the color surfaces, right? Where you have the belt, you have this corset thing, and then that leads us into the white shirt and like the open silver lapel thing here. But it just feels like, and again, that seems to be what they're trying to do with these like silver bits, is like because they're shiny, because they have the ability to sort of break up the form a little bit, they add a little bit of visual texture and interest to her. But it is, like, I look at this design and my eye sort of slides off of it a little bit because there just isn't that much there, I think. Like, the most interesting parts about her are, like, the tails, the gloves. I do like the sort of scratching claw nails thing. The belt is an interesting element. Like, and it matches the emblem on the back of her jacket. But the main thing is, like, you have all this cool hairdo shit that she's got going on with, like, this outwards curving, sort of wild, like, implying the wildness of the fox spirit, right? And I do like that she's got her hair up in a bun, because, like, as visual language goes, the character with the hair up in a bun is sort of like, that's a universal signifier of character who is uptight, right? Like, character who is holding it together, a character who's being respectable, who's sort of, like... Whereas, by contrast, having wild flowing hair that's going out everywhere, that's much more sort of expressive, that's more connected, associated with passion, and like... So she's like the director of Tiger Division. She keeps shit under control, she keeps things under wraps, she's not emotional, she's not like quick to anger or whatever. Yeah, like tying her hair up in a bun is a good signifier of that. And then we have the front of her hair with the bangs and all that, which is a little bit more wild, which again, I want to see the fox spirit design for her body. But that would, I imagine, would be the thing that bridges the gap, that her fox spirit body has, like, the same kind of wildness that she has here at the front is going to be present in the fox spirit. That would be the way to bridge sort of the aesthetic. That's a very common thing to do with characters that can transform into animals, is to reflect the fur of the animal in their hairstyle. Because, like, a lot of her shape language, like, a lot of the visual language of her design otherwise is very uptight, right? Like, she has this belt that's tying her waist in, right? Like, her tie is tamped down and held in place by the corset. She's wearing a corset, right? The suit is generally very tight. This is not like a loose-fitting sort of comfortable business suit. This is a tight-fitting suit. Same thing up around the arms, right? Like, you have the... Even the shoes are, like, not expansive. They are very sort of sharp. So there's a lot of, like, tied down restraint. Like, I am restrained, I am calm, I am, you know, in control kind of vibe. And what I would look for with the fox form, and let's see if we can get a look at it in the practice tool. Every time I go in here, I forget where it is that you practice over there. Doom match. Huh. Let's see. She was a support strategist, right? Yeah.
White fox on the hunt. Try to keep up. Our prey is in the open.
Whoa. Okay. I guess left shift just does something. I should have checked her abilities before I went in here. So, there's a no ability cooldown. Cool. Then we should be able to get into fox form, right? I wish I could get a better look at you. That would be very cool. Okay, yeah, so they are definitely doing a thing where, like, the mask, the eye mask that she's... I'm pointing at the screen as though you can see what I'm pointing at. The eye mask that she wears in her human form is reflected in the glowing eyes of the fox and some of the shape language there. She's got some of the same hair ornaments. And the hairstyle is definitely reflecting some of the wildness in the fur of this thing. Yeah, the ultimate form is not as wild in its animation and expression as I would have expected. It's there. Like, you can see it in the tails, right? Like, how much volume and movement is in the tails. But I kind of would have expected it to be more, like, snarling, roaring, growling, like a more wild, animalistic vibe. But they're keeping, like, they're holding on to a consistency instead. They're going with a consistency where her fox form seems to also be very calm, very controlled. Like, the tails aren't whipping around randomly. She's just, yeah, calm, under control, a little bit of a twitch in the ears. Very upright posture, right? Like, standing upright, very upright. Keeping watch over the battlefield. I wonder if it's a thing of, like, maybe there's statues of the Gumiho in Korea that sort of have this same sort of posture, that's sort of posed in the same way, or if that's like a common cultural image of the Gumiho. Yeah, I was expecting more wildness, honestly. That's not necessarily disappointment, but it felt like that's what the design was setting up, right? Like, was this contrast between when she is...
Our prey is in the open.
When she's in director form, and she's controlled and sensible. Yeah, because that's what they're doing with this ability, right? Is you turn on the E... And that's when, like, the ears start to glow and she gains, like, fox claws, and that's when she gets a little wild with it.
Wow, 4 in a row. Claims it's due.
Yeah, so it feels like the design was gesturing towards that as a design element, but I guess that's not what we're doing here. Curious. Okay. So yeah, like, if I knew more about White Fox, I'd probably be able to parse bits of her character design better. I do like they're doing the classic contrast between modernity and the ancient, right? Like, she's an ancient Gumiho from, like, the depths of legend and mystery. So, in her hair, she has, like, these, I guess they're bells? Yeah. She has these bells and rope arrangements that remind me of the sort of thing that you might see on, like, in East Asian temple settings and things like that. Like, it's made of bronze or something like that. It has that air of the ancient versus the power suit, which is, like, a very, very modern thing, right? Like, very office environment, very bureaucracy. And that's, again, where if I have a criticism, like, it feels like this is supposed to be, like, an ancient crest of her family, or it's supposed to be, like, it's supposed to be something that's very specifically associated with her and her lineage, like the ancestral nine-tailed power. I do feel like, again, the logo here, that looks very modern, and again, maybe that's just from the comics. There might not be anything they can do about it. But the logo here feels very modern in its expression, like very sort of sleek, very stylized, very, you know, where I feel like if this felt more archaic or ancient, maybe that would sort of help, again, with the contrast vibe between creature from myth and legend that's associated with, like, the ancient history of Korea versus associated with, like, modern government and bureaucracy and the march of modernity and modernization into Korea. You could do some interesting storytelling with that. I guess not what they're going for. Yeah, I can't get away from the fact that I feel like she needs more contrast in her design. I feel like there's so much of it that's this fairly, like, not dull, but fairly flat teal. And I'm kind of missing, like, either one more color or a stronger contrast in there somewhere. Because, like, the teal against the white here, it's not a very strong contrast, and they sort of dither it by adding all of these, like, teal elements. So it's like, it's not a very strong contrast, so it's not very striking. Which, again, maybe that's part of the point, is she's like a covert operative. She's not trying to draw attention to herself. But that's, like, if you're not trying to draw attention to yourself, then you shouldn't be wearing color at all, really. Then you should just, like, if you want to be anonymous, then it's the standard black or, like, dark gray business suit is sort of more that. So I don't know. I don't 100% know. I can't 100% parse the intention here. But my impression keeps being, well, this is a little bit not very much. Like, this is a little bit, yeah, this could use a little bit more. And I guess the fox spirit form is supposed to be that. Right? I guess the fact that she can transform into the fox is supposed to be the moment of big contrast where she, like, lets loose. But then on the other hand, the fox also feels like it's designed to be very concordant with this version, right? Like, still very in control, very calm, very sensible, very, like collected. Where I would look for it to look a lot wilder. Which, again, like, I couldn't get a good look at the damn fox, unfortunately. Which bothers me a little bit. It annoys, like, if you have the alternate forms for Hulk, his ultimate form, surely you can give it to White Fox as well. I want to see the fox form. I want to see how it's shaped specifically. So yeah, I don't know that I'm super hyped about White Fox as a character design. It feels a little conservative in that way. It feels a little bit like it's not taking a big swing anywhere. It's sort of doing the basics, which is sort of the same way I feel about where the hell is he? He's under the D's. Same way I feel about Doctor Strange, right? Like, Doctor Strange is just like, yeah, that's Doctor Strange from the movies. Same thing with Black Widow, right? Like, that's Black Widow from the movies, but also she's kind of Widowmaker because of Sniper Rifle, which is not really a thing from the movies, but yeah. And same thing with Black Panther, right? Like, it's Black Panther, and that's the guy that it is. It's the Black Panther from the Marvel things. this sort of feels a little bit conservative in that same way, in the sense of it's White Fox from the thing. But again, I'm not 100% sure she's ever actually looked like this in the comics. Yeah, but it doesn't feel exciting. But maybe there's a cosmetic that can fix that. Okay, pink is nice. Cherry blossom kind of thing. What do we have here? Okay, this is definitely taking more of a swing. Immediately, it's taking a lot more of a swing. Again, I wish I could see the fox spirit. That would be cool. Be wonderful if I could see the fox. That would rule, but I guess that's not in the cards. I would have to imagine it looks different. I'm not gonna buy the cosmetic just to take it into the practice tool, though. The fox form has a hat. Good. Okay, good. The fox form has a hat. That is instantly brings it up a full letter grade. If it didn't have a hat, that would be kind of a disappointment. And so here, like with this skin, which was supposed to be like punk or... It's been ages since I last set foot on a college campus. My last visit wasn't exact. Oh, is this supposed to be her undercover at college? Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Here we have much more of like a wild spirit, right? Like we have the fucking torn pantyhose, or stockings, not pantyhose, stockings. We have asymmetry, right? Like we have like this asymmetry half skirt. We have like the leather bindings sort of crisscrossing all over the place on the right side, but then nothing on the left. Like lots of asymmetry, lots of sharp angles sort of running contrary to each other, lots of contrast in styles, right? Because she has this... Honestly, I don't know if this is just like what street fashion is, where street fashion is at nowadays, but this has... I'm looking at this and I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm hearing, he was a skater boy, she says a little bit of that in the back of my head, with like the sort of slightly pleated pattern on this half skirt and like wearing a tie with no suit jacket. So there's lots of contrast, right? Like there's lots of elements of the aesthetic that are sort of in conflict with each other, right? The classic thing of wearing like these big, huge fucking combat boot ass strapped down things, but then in contrast with that, you're wearing something that's much more like for city living, which is like the classic goth punk thing. And then, of course, the tie, right? Like the tie, which in her base form is this signifier of corporatism and like bureaucracy and being part of the power structure. Here, the tie reads as much more rebellious because it's positioned in a place where it doesn't belong at all. There is no shirt for the tie to actually go around the collar of. There is no jacket. So it's out of place here, and that makes it feel rebellious, right? Like that makes it feel like it's you know, defiant of style and expectation. Which was the way that it was used back in the pop punk days of the 2000s. Bunch of, yeah, like the sort of interesting sheen on the tie, which is like it's made of, what's that material called? There's a specific material that was all over the fucking place in the early 2000s that had that kind of iridescence. People made jackets out of it. This like sort of shiny, whatever, holographic. Like, that fabric was all over the place in the Y2K era, like, for things that wanted to look techy or futuristic. And that element is also present, like, it's in her headphones, it's in the shine on the cap. It's in this little heart thing that she's got tied around her arm. This has a lot more contrast. This is a lot more interesting to look at. Again, I would not read that as remotely the same character, but I guess that's the point. She's undercover. Wearing these badges that feel like... Like, given the aesthetic, it feels like the badges should be shit like Free Palestine, right? Like, it feels like the badges should be, like, Free Palestine, Save the Earth, No to Nuclear Weapons. It feels like they should be political statements. I guess we can't do that in Marvel Rivals, so she has, like, I guess that's a Luna Snow fan pin, maybe? And I guess she's in the library club or something? I can't read what it says on that badge, but it looks like some shit you get for taking a poli-sci class. Yeah, Magneto was right for a shirt, like something like that. That feels like if she's supposed to be rebellious, it feels like she should have something that's like actually kind of challenging or abrasive in some way, and that certainly isn't present here. Like, in the way in which this feels a little bit more K-poppy, I guess. Like, it feels more like a sort of a pop star costume, is specifically because for all of the gestures towards punk aesthetic, for all of the gestures towards with the torn stockings and the asymmetry and all that, there's really nothing here that actually proclaims any kind of viewpoint, right? Like, that says, I believe in something. And again, that makes perfect sense for a government agent who's undercover, I suppose. Except if she was trying to infiltrate, like, an anarchist group, she would probably be wearing a lot more superficial anarchism bullshit. Because that's usually how that shit goes. But I guess she's just supposed to look like a student. And there is definitely a thing with, like, are you supposed to be undercover, or are you supposed to be grabbing a lot of attention? Like, does everyone at ESU dress like this, or is it just you? Because it certainly feels like an outfit that would grab some attention from people if this is not, like, the standard fashion of the place where she is. Which is that tension that always exists, right? Between, like, if the story here is this is White Fox going undercover at a college campus, but the cosmetic does have to look cool so it will sell, then you kind of can't make her look boring, right? Which is sort of the same thing with the, I assume, with the business suit here, is where I feel like the thing that might work better is to give her a much more boring regular business suit, and then maybe have a little hint of a thing of, like, maybe under the suit she's wearing something that's a little bit more out there, a little bit more daring, in the same way that Superman wears his costume under his like, reporter suit. That might sort of be the better design, but it kind of has to pop a little. It has to read as exciting when you look at it. So they go, okay, add a bunch of metal bullshit to her pants and she's teal, lots of color, things like that, where they try and make it pop, when maybe the thing they should do is try and make it a little bit more boring in some aspects, which is something that, like, with cosmetics, you kind of can't. Like, you're not allowed to make things boring, right? Like, you're not really allowed to make things not surface level appealing like that, even if it's a service of a design narrative that you want to go for. And that's one of the things that makes cosmetics in video games especially often get kind of boring, is because there is this constant pressure. Well, it needs to sell, so it needs to pop when you see it, right? All of the appeal needs to be on the surface, and anything that's below the surface is like, yeah, fuck it. Like, that has to be sacrificed for the surface of it, right? Because that's the business of, like, when everything runs on selling as many cosmetics with FOMO as humanly possible, that's kind of where you end up. And that's pretty universal across live service games, unfortunately. Which is annoying, but some games, you know, some games occasionally make some bangers out of it. I'm interested with the red eyes and the white eyelashes. Is she supposed to be specifically, like, have lyricism or albinism? I'm curious about that. Customize. Oh, you can put glasses on her. Neat. Okay. Again, I don't know enough about White Fox, but it would be interesting if she had, like, lyricism or was, like, had albinism specifically as a point of her character. That's a disability that doesn't get, or not even a disability, that's a physical difference that doesn't get a lot of representation positively. So that'd be nice if there was a character who had that condition where it was, like, taken as a neutral or just a extended part of who they are. Because, like, the stereotype you get most often in media is, like, if there's a person who has albinism, that's like, oh shit, that's weird. That's a weird thing. Like, it's often used as a synecdoche for, like, evil or degeneracy in some way. Most famously, I guess, like, the one that really always pisses me off is fucking Dan Brown in those fucking movies. The way that they just had, like, a freaky basement albino monk who self-flagellates be, like, the scary bad guy. The scary bad guy henchman in those movies. Like, motherfucker. Because, like, there's a long history of people with albinism being like targeted for eugenicist destruction. And indeed, just like considered cursed or like marked by evil spirits or again a bad omen and like killed basically after birth. Like there's a long history of that kind of discrimination against people with leucism and albinism, and like same thing as that happens with like people with any kind of physical difference. Albinism is just one of the ones that's like, it's very unchallenged a lot of the time to use the physical traits of albinism as like a code that is like, this is the scary evil bad guy, has like red eyes and pale skin and like white hair. It's like, yeah, cool, that, okay, where did you get those traits from, I wonder? So that'd be nice if that was so. Let's look at some emotes. She doesn't have a lot, I guess. But I find the sit emote, I've kind of been considering doing a shorts, like doing shorts videos just reviewing the sits of various characters, because sits are often really interesting. Same thing with like idle animation, like how does a character act when they have nothing to do, right? Like when they're just standing around with absolutely nothing to do, how does the character behave, right? Like what do they do when there's no business? That's a good place to add a lot of like characterization for who a person is. And I quite like Hulks. I really do. Because Hero Hulk, right, he's not Monster Hulk. He's not like the rage unbound, like swinging his arms around, smashing everything. He's controlled, he's sensible, he's intelligent, right? Like Bruce Banner has come to a place of peace with his Hulk side. But the sit here, I find, is really instructive because, yeah, he's sitting, he's calm, he's not, like, vibrating, he's not, like, ready to fight, he's not, like, angry, he's not aggressive, but you can see it's not because he doesn't have anger in him, it's because he's patient, right? It's like, I'm waiting for something to show up where it would make sense for me to smash it into atoms with my fist, right? Like, you can see the anger is there, right? Like, in the tension in the hands, in that slightly impatient tapping of the fingers, he's still looking around. But it tells you something about his state of mind, right? Like, the way that he sits, especially relative to Bruce Banner, right? This is, again, a Banner who's much more at peace with his Hulk, right? Who has found, like, a place of balance and control. So Banner has, like, this slightly nervous, right? He's literally on the edge of his seat, right? Like, it's not a relaxed, I'm sitting here for a long time. It's, I'm sitting down for a second, but I'm ready to get up any second because something might happen. You can see that in his physical attitude as well. He's looking around. He's alert. He's not, like, playing with a phone. He's not looking down at his hands or drinking a cup of tea or whatever. So you get that, like, there's definitely some alertness, a little bit of tension, a guy who's ready to get up and go at any second. But he's not terrified, right? Like, it's not Banner who's, like, terrified of turning into the Hulk any second. He is relaxing, but you can see in his physical attitude, like, how does he relate to the world when he has nothing else to do? The sit emotes are good for that. Anyway, that was a long tangent to... And similarly with my White Fox, right? Like, she's sitting business style. Like, this is businesswoman sit, right? She doesn't have anything to lean up against, which she kind of should. She should have, like, a business executive chair where she could lean back and, like cross her leg over. But the posture is immaculate, right? Like, the posture is straight the fuck up and down. No slouch in the shoulders. No anything. She's just... So, again, it supports that character of the sensible-minded S.H.I.E.L.D. director, well, not S.H.I.E.L.D., Tiger Division director who's, like, keeping in control, keeping calm. She's all business. But she's not tense, right? Like, it's not an uncomfortable sit. It's not a sit that's like, I'm so impatient for something to happen, I'm waiting for some shit to go down. It's just like she's relaxed. She's present in the moment, she's sitting down, and she's waiting, right? And I find that sit animations like that, and just generally idle animations, can be so instructive about, like, a character's feeling and vibe, like who they are when they're not doing anything. How does Venom sit as a point of comparison? Oh, okay, horny style. He sits horny style is what he does. Okay, yeah, no. Oh, with the cheeks flattened. Yeah. No, he sits horny style. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Venom, they've made a very horny character. They really have. They've kind of gone all in on that. And yet there's some impatience, right? Like, there's a little bit of that looking around for a meal vibe. Like, he's scouting for the next thing he's gonna sink his tongue into. Probably someone in chat. But, like, the man spread with, like, really just getting the bulge out there. Yeah, good Sid emote. I think I might do some shorts just reviewing the Sid emotes for all the characters. Let's see, what do we have for the... Let's get it with the costume. Ah, coffee. I mean, that works with any skin, I guess. It would work pretty well with her face, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's a nice detail that it's like the tail that spawns the coffee. I like that. The more they can do to integrate her tail as like a prehensile thing or like a part of her physicality, I think is good and interesting. Right, MVPs. Yeah, because again, here, I sort of feel like we transition from wildness, right? Like with this fox that's jumping back and forth, like very quickly, sort of. And then we transition into putting the mask on, and now it's like, I'm in control, I'm in charge, right? Which, yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder if she was supposed to be more feral in her fox form at some point or another. The pose is a little bit much. Or rather, no, actually, it's the opposite. The pose isn't a little bit much, it's a bit too little. This feels like it was supposed to be pushed a little bit more. Like, it feels like this leg here is supposed to be further forward, and she's supposed to be a little bit further down. Like, it feels like it should be a little bit more... Because right now there, with... The center of gravity is a little bit off when she's got that leg back there. I wish I could pause this. Okay, stop it with the noise. How do I... Can I bring that up on screen, please? Yay! Hooray! There we go. That's how we do it. This pose feels a little weak. Like, that leg there... Where... Her knee is all the way down there. But I can't see... Like, this feels like this leg is supposed to be splayed out way further. In sort of a little bit of a Jacko pose, maybe? And then a more of a three-point landing thing, like a superhero landing thing with the swipe. Yeah, like, this pose is actually not great. This feels unbalanced. Like, it feels like her center of gravity is somewhere over here, and that she's supposed to be leaning all of her weight on this hand, or else she'll fall over. Yeah, this feels a little bit off. I don't actually like this final pose very much. This, yeah, that needs a revision or to be pushed a little further. Because it looks awkward, right? Like, because it's supposed to be kind of a sexy pose, right? It's supposed to be kind of, she's arching the fuck out of her back, and she's got the ass up in the air kind of thing. Like, it's supposed to be a little sexy and alluring, right? Like, which is, like, that's fair enough. But in order for that to work, you need a line of action that actually kind of makes sense for it. And the line of action here is, like, the flow into that leg is like this illustration critique more than it's actually like the rest of the MVP animation is fine. The rest of the MVP animation is good, actually. I like that it takes a little break, right? Like that we get the run in, like and then jump into the air. Then we get this little slow section where she transforms, and then the mask on and the smirk. Like that's pretty strong. And like the push into the landing when she's like flying into the screen with her claw. I like that. It's just the place that it lands is not a great pose at all. Oh, that's very low-key. I guess, again, if she's supposed to be undercover or whatever. She's hacking into the mainframe, baby. Yeah, I mean, that's very low-key. It's supposed to be. I'm trying to catch if there was like an Intel logo on her computer or whatever, but I do like the detail, and this is a small thing, but if you look at the sticker on her computer there, it's been kind of torn off. She's kind of scratched it off around the edges. Like, the computer has some wear and tear on it. It looks like a computer that's actually been used by someone who's like sort of fiddling with it, and like it's a little bit dirty and scratched up, and she's got the stickers on it. That's a good detail. Like, that has some character to it. That adds a little bit of sense of character. I quite like that. Yeah, not an impressive MVP, but it's supposed to be kind of low-key. It's supposed to be, I have done the hacking job and pressed the enter key, and now I'm walking away, like, all cool-like. And for that, I guess it makes sense. Like, the flow of the tail into the rest of the body posture is pretty good. It gives, like, this flowing S-curve thing going on. So I like that. That's pretty good. Okay, so much for White Fox. I'm not sure I'm super impressed by her, but, you know. Now on to the hero that's going to get me demonetized. Well, no, she's no hornier than a lot of other Marvel Rivals shit is, but... I've seen some of the voice lines for Black Cat going around on social media, some like voice interactions and stuff. She's so fucking horny all the time. Holy shit. Like, Felicia has... Oh, okay, yeah, no, the right... Oh, there's no angle I can show you. There might be children in chat, Felicia. Yeah. Good lord. Yeah, okay, so that Felicia has always been a flirty character, right? It's always sort of been part of Black Cat's dynamic, especially with Spider-Man, that she's sort of a seductress, right? Like, she's the one who's tempting him into being a little bit more selfish with his powers, maybe compromise his ideals a little bit, let her go occasionally. She's always been that. Like, there's always been a sensual sexual angle to Black Cat, right? Like, where she's sort of the temptation relationship. They're going hard on it, though. Like, come the fuck on. Oh my god, that's a TikTok thirst trap as posed.
Yeah.
And like, it is clearly performative, right? Like, that's one thing I'll say for it is, you can tell, like, she's doing it on purpose, right? This is not her natural pose. There's nothing natural about this. There's nothing. This is just how I stand in real life normally. No. She's playing a part, right? Like, she's playing you. She's fucking with you, right? Like, this feels like very specifically someone who knows exactly the assets she's got, and she's using them. Like, it does feel that, right? It's definitely male gazy, lesbian gazy also, going by the reactions I've seen online. It's definitely that, but it does feel like it's supposed to be this thing of like, no, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing to you. I'm doing it on purpose, right? It feels like it's leaning into that. Which, like, there are many ways to feel about. It's sort of the Bayonetta thing, right? Like, where Bayonetta is a hypersexualized character, but a lot of people, like a lot of women even, resonate a lot with Bayonetta because so much of her performance of her sexuality owns it, right? Like, it's very much about, no, I'm doing this because I look good as fuck, and I am untouchable, and I'm better than you. Like, it has that distance, right? Felicia here, I will say, feels a lot more like she's pandering to a pinup, right? Like, it does feel campy, though. Like, there is, again, there's something you can have an argument about. There is definitely something about, like, the bedazzled titties and the pose and the meow, right? Like, the little sort of cat's claw thing. It feels burlesque. Like, this feels like something you'd see in a burlesque performance. It feels kind of campy, especially with the rhinestones around the belt and, like, the fucking diamond nipples. There's a campiness to this, which I think is supported by the big fur boa around her shoulders. Like, it has that diva vibe. It's like, it's a little bit the sort of thing you might see from a particularly raunchy drag performance, a little bit. I do think, like, she needs better shoes, though. Like, if you're gonna do this, right? Like, if you're gonna have this version of Black Cat hypersexualized with, like, the bedazzled titties and all of that, I mean, that's when you put her in the heels, right? Like, that's when you give her the fucking stilettos, right? Like, I get annoyed a lot of female characters in video games who wear, like, stiletto heels for no fucking reason, just because girl, therefore must have heels, right? But if you're gonna do this, if we're gonna do this fucking Jessica Rabbit-ass performance for her, if we're gonna do this shit, then give her the fucking heels. Like, give her some heels and some shoes that are, like, decorated, right? Like, fucking bedazzle the shoes as well. Like, go in, make her, like, if we're gonna go for cunt, let's go for cunt, right? Like, let's fucking serve. I feel like those shoes are just way too practical, and they're not even that practical, because they're still, like, fucking elevated heels things for, like, a sneaking cat burglar, whatever. But if you're gonna do it, do it. Right? Like, if you're gonna do it, then she needs them. Like, she needs to actually fucking go ham on it. Again, also, if you want to claim the campness, if you want to claim that we're doing an exaggerated performance, right? If we are playing this up to ridiculous proportions by having her do sort of pole dance adjacent moves around the rope and all of that shit, then you gotta go the whole way. Like, then you gotta fucking go in on that shit. And you can't have her walking around in shoes that are anything less than maximally impractical for what she's doing. And, like, on that same level, like, I feel like they could bedazzle a little bit more of her as well. Like, they could put a little, like, I like what they're doing. Like, the fucking diamond nipples are just funny on the face of it. And, like, I like the belt. I like it on here. I feel like there could be a little bit of something down along her thighs. Or, like, down into the shoes. Oh, that's a wet... That's... How are you wearing a bodysuit that's also a thong at the same time? That's amazing. Like, how have you managed to turn a bodysuit into a thong? Good lord, Felicia. That can't be comfortable for climbing, girl. Like, yeah, but... Again, she fucking purred at me. Oh my god.
Meow.
Yeah. By the same token, like, if we want to do camp, if we want to do, like, way the fuck over the top, again, the fucking diamond collar and the earrings, good. I think the makeup could be a little bit wild. Like, I think the makeup could be a little bit more. The mask is good. Like, the mask has that sort of Silver Age, where it's like, that mask is not hiding a goddamn thing about your fucking identity, girl. Like, yep, everyone can, like, it doesn't hide anything about your identity. But it has a little bit of that. I think the makeup could go harder. I think that could be a little bit more out there. Like, maybe lashes that are just a little bit too long. Like, you could exaggerate it a little bit more. In places, like, if this is what we're doing, I think you could go harder on that. But also... The fucking... The way that her voice lines, like... like, the fucking fake-ass giggle she's doing. The way she's leaning over to let the titties hang. Like, they are definitely out there with this shit. I'm not gonna tell anyone else how to feel about it, because it's definitely objectifying. Like, it's definitely in that space. But I think the place that Marvel Rivals, like, we looked at Venom 5 seconds ago, right? Marvel Rivals has earned a bit of a reputation for, I wouldn't say being equal opportunity sexualizers, but they are at least willing, right? They're at least willing to go there for characters. I think Thor had the... I guess that's out of the store now? Oh, well. He had the disco skin. Like, this is... I know whose gaze that is appealing to. I know who this is for. I know exactly who this is for. Like, they could make the shorts a little shorter. They could maybe show a bit of midriff, but I know who this is for, right? And they, I suspect they're probably very happy. Like, the fucking bulge, man. Jesus, right? Like, so there's not necessarily equal opportunity, but there is a greater willingness in Marvel Rivals to sexualize their male characters, right? And objectify them in the visual language of what's going on, which is like, that's actually a useful thing to think about, because an argument that comes up a lot with superheroes is, oh, but the male characters are shirtless too, and they're muscular, and that means they're sexualized as well. No, that is not the same thing, because a male character being super buff and muscular and shirtless That's not a sexual fantasy necessarily. It's certainly not meant as one. Usually that's meant as a power fantasy, right? If we look at... A good example here would be Hulk. Where the fuck is he? Oh, Bruce Banner, right. If we look at Hulk here, right? There are definitely people who find this kind of hyper-jacked physique sexy, right? Definitely. But that's not what... This is not designed primarily to appeal to a sensuality. It is not designed to appeal to a sexual fantasy. It's designed to be power. This is a power fantasy. This is a fantasy of being so powerful that, like, you burst out of your clothes and your muscles are so fucking strong and can smash and break anything. That's a power fantasy, right? And it can be sexualized, but just because the character isn't wearing a lot of clothes, that's not the same thing as sexualizing them, right? And that's a distinction that's worth keeping in mind, especially when we talk about superheroes. There's a good example of... What the hell is his name? Colossus. That I bring up a lot for these things. Unfortunately, it's kind of fucking hard to find on Google Images. But there is a pinup that was made of Colossus from X-Men for... God damn it, I should have kept this around. Oh, this one works. Okay, Colossus X-Men. Let's try and bring an example up on screen. When it comes to talking about, like, the sexualization of characters, Colossus is good because he basically wears body paint in a lot of his appearances, right? Here's a good pair of examples. Let's see. Let me see if I can bring that up on screen. There. This is a power fantasy, right? He's functionally naked. You can see all of his muscles, right? Like, he's wearing tiny little booty shorts. But this is a power fantasy, right? The visual communication of this image is, this man is so powerful and so strong, right? It's in his pose, it's in his posture, it's in the context, which is that he's bursting through a wall. Someone may find this sexy, absolutely, but that's not what the image is doing, right? Like, the image is not doing sexuality. That might be an accidental byproduct. This, on the other hand, this is sexualized, right? This image is trying to be horny. This image is trying to impart a sexuality onto you, right? And he's wearing about, like, this, like, you can see the same amount of his physique, right? You can see the same amount of his muscles. You can see the same amount, but this, the way the posture, the posing, the framing, the aesthetic of how his muscles are rendered, this is sexualized. This is a power fantasy. This is a sex fantasy, right? The expression helps as well, right? But that's a distinction that's important to keep in mind when we talk about sexualization in superheroes, right? Is just because they are not wearing a lot of clothes, that's not necessarily the same thing. The sexualization here is she's bending over to hang her titties down and arch her back so her ass looks maximally, right? Like, that's sexualization. Whereas, by contrast, I think Phoenix might be a good example, actually. Right? Phoenix is wearing a skin-tight bodysuit. There's some sexualization in here in that it's the bodysuit, for some reason, is taking care to fit like a sock around her titties. But this is not the same thing as Black Cat, right? Like, the suit itself is not inviting you to think of her in sexual terms in the same way, right? The suit, in fact, like the way that it's put together, the way that she's framed, the way that she's posed and postured, it feels much more about, oh, there's some weird shit going on with her. She has strange powers, or she's like from some kind of strange dimension. There is a sexualization happening here. Again, boob socks around the titties, but it's not the same thing, right? So it's not always just about how much can you see a character's breasts. It's not always just about how much skin are they showing. It's contextual, right? What is the way that this is framed and presented? What is it trying to do? What is the feeling that it's trying to make you have, right? And the conversation we get into with female superheroes is that if you look at a lot of comics, a lot of them, the way that these female heroes are drawn, the way that they're presented, the way that their bodies are framed, the way that they're posed and posture, the way that the camera treats them, the things that the camera focuses on, very often is, well, she has to be sexy. She has to look. She has to look hot. You have to like. There has to be cleavage. There has to be titties. There has to be. She has to curve her spine maximally to really get that hourglass shape in there. That's what you can observe, right? Like, it's not always just is the costume sexy. It's how does the camera treat the character. Like, for example, how does the camera treat that move? Right? Like, what is the framing and aesthetic of this? The framing and aesthetic of this is titties, right? Whereas, when you zoom in on the Phoenix, or... Well, Hela maybe not a great example there. When you zoom in on Phoenix, this is about her standing back to back with her Phoenix spirit, right? Like, that's what's being focused on. That's what you're being asked to understand as the storytelling of this move, right? It's framing and aesthetic that tend to determine a lot about this stuff, not necessarily just whether the character is showing skin, right? Yeah, there is a campness to it, like, especially with the big hair. Like, the fact that she has this huge puff of hair, like, arranged in such a specific... There's definitely a campness to it. There's definitely a burlesque element to this performance. Like, there's a little bit... It's almost kind of like a parody, right? A little bit. There's a little bit of that element of, like, it's almost like it's making fun of hypersexualized, like, superhero characters. Like, it's almost to that point. Not quite. Like, I think it is earnestly trying to be sexy also. But insofar as, like, how I feel about it, like, it doesn't feel like it's just trying to pander. It feels like it's trying to be fun. It feels like it's trying to... It feels theatrical, right? It feels like it's trying to wink and nudge and be a little self-aware about it. In that way of, like, having your cake and eating it too, where it's like, oh no, we're being self-aware, we're winking at it, we're being ironic, also here's titties, right? Like, we're having our cake and eating it too, we're doing the thing, but then we're also being a little ironic about the thing. Which, like, your mileage may vary about how you feel about that. I'm charmed, but then this is also for me, right? It's like... This is very much calculated to appeal to me, and it's working. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's not working. That's an okay recolor. Very different vibe, like, but that's an okay recolor. What about the costume? Oh, there we go. There's the heels. The one... If they just cut her nails just on the two fingers here, if they just cut the nails there, this feels sapphic in its appeal. This feels very lesbian. In a way, like, I can't tell you exactly why, but something about this feels very lesbian. Like, this feels very... Like, no, yeah, like, absolutely, men, sure, they'll look at this and go... Like men will wolf whistle at this shit, but... This feels for the lesbians. Something about this feels for the queers. Something about this feels for the girls and gays. Like, seriously, someone make a mod of this skin where the only change is that you cut the nails on her ring and middle finger. That's it. Like, the only change. Just that. And it's perfect. At that point, this would be perfect. It's in no small part, it's also her physique. It's the fact that, like, Black Cat... She has muscles, right? She's not just slim. She's not just, like, gym type. There is a cutness to her physicality. Like, she's not like fucking Angela, right? Like, she's not shredded in that way, but like, it does look like the physique of someone who goes rock climbing. Right? It does look like the physique of someone who, like, who can pick you up and pin you against the wall, basically. And again, there's a campness to this, like with the giant sunglasses. And the meow across the tits, like, come the fuck on. And, like, the very arranged coiffed hairstyle. And also, like, that's... if you know, you know, but that's, like... That's basically a harness for a strap. like it's... that's the shape of one! Yeah, no, this feels lesbian to me. This feels sapphic. Like, yes, absolutely. I also think it's sexy, but this feels like it's meant, like, it. This feels like it's calculated to make a butch somewhere sort of explode into suppressed panic. And I do appreciate that she has the physique, right? Like that. If anything, she kind of looks even like it's probably because the bodysuit is pure black, so it kind of obscures a lot of it. If anything, she looks more muscular here than she fucking does in her catsuit. Oh, wait, there is a model change. If you look at the curve of her thigh here, they do actually make her thighs a little thicker. And I swear to God, the arms are just a little bit larger. And the shoulders are so cut. So they do change the model a little bit for this. Yeah, no, this feels lesbian as hell to me. Goddamn. Yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, I wasn't wrong about the camp. Like, there's definitely an element of queer campness to this. To a huge degree. And they finally gave her the heels. Still think the shoes could be a little cooler. Like, you could do, like, you could put a little something on there. But good thing, like, she's got the heels now. Good. About bloody time. Like, the super short skirt with, like, the other skirt. Like, come the fuck on. Yeah. No, that... Oh, man. Yeah, no, yep. That, like, if you heard a sound just now, that was every lesbian in chat having a problem. Like, all of a sudden, of like, just like a little, just a moment of blue screen, and now they're like, there's like a buffering icon behind their eyes. Because that, again, the sit, right? It tells you a lot about the character. And again, they are consistent with Black Cat that her physical acting is performative, right? Her physical acting is not, this is not just her behaving the way that she normally would. This is her putting on a show for anyone who's watching, right? There's an element of theatricality to it. And you can, like, the way that she's holding her hand even here, like just the tension up in the shoulder and the fact that the hand is out like that, doing that little tiny hint of a come hither motion. This is like, no, this is look at me. Look at the way I'm posing, look at the way I'm posturing, look at the way I'm here, look at the way I'm owning the room. Like, this is very look at me. This is very attention seeking. Brackets positive. Which again, like, that seems to be pretty consistent across her character. That she is putting on a show. She's putting on a performance. It's very hard not to be charmed by this for me. Like, yeah, sexy, but also, this is kind of... She seems like someone who'd be fun to hang out with, also. Like, you'd lose your wallet and, like, possibly, like, anything else you wearing on you. You take the shirt off your back, probably. But it does feel like this is someone who you'd have a fun time with, even as she takes you for everything you're worth. And again, this thing about acting. Yeah, it's not like she's being completely natural here, but I do like that for this, she kind of drops the act a little bit. Right? Like here, she's not posing or posturing for an audience. She's paying attention to the cat. Still, we get cleavage, obviously, because there's literally nothing she could do to not give us cleavage in this costume. But this feels a little bit more relaxed. This feels a little bit more like she's paying attention to something else. It feels a little more casual. I kind of like that. They could push that harder. Like, I would really quite like it if she had an emote where she just completely drops the act and just relaxes into herself. Like is just sort of present in the world in a way that's much calmer. Because she doesn't quite drop the posture and, like, the whole thing, but this gets close. I kind of like that. Yeah, no, like, yep. That is gorgeous. She needs a basic instinct emote. If they made an alternate sitting animation for her where she does the basic instinct move, that would be very funny. The hair flick here, again, so theatrical. So, like, she's walking a runway. Of course she is, right? Like, she's walking a runway. Everyone's taking pictures. She's posing, posturing. She's showing off. The hair flick is like... That's pretty good. I like the effect on her there. Is that something she has in-game? I should go in-game and check. But, like, all of this spinny action, the sort of trailing effect on that is pretty cool. Again, I think maybe this ending pose is a little weak. Like, I think after she does, like, functionally a sort of dive kick, I feel like could probably foreshorten that pose a little bit more. Like, this feels less, hey, come look at me performative than a lot of the rest of her. Like, it's supposed to be sort of an action MVP, right? Like, this is supposed to be like she's doing her thing, right? Like, she's spinning in the air, she's throwing... I think I saw that her gameplay system is one of, like, she earns coins and then she can buy artifacts that, like, apply various effects and throw them at people. So she has, like, a purchase system. I feel like there's a stronger ending you could probably have to that. Because, like, this is a much stronger, like, just the moment when she does the throw, that feels like a much stronger thing to end on. Rather than ending on her just kind of hovering. Like, she has no direction here, really. Like, there's no action direction for where she's going compared to here, for example, right? Like, where there's a clear line of action that, like, converges. This feels more sort of passively hovering in air. Aw, she has a little symbiote Spider-Man plush she can have. Isn't that sweet? Okay, then there were some new skins. Probably easiest to find those on the Battle Pass, right? Yeah, okay. Hi, Magik. Okay, so it's Magik, and can I not filter this for skins? Okay, I guess I can't. Darn, okay, Oh, that's Hela! That's not Magik! Oh no, the sword is way too small, obviously. Huh. I thought they were adapting Magik's... those things. Like her little head things. Oh, interesting. I guess we never do get to see a good look at Hela's face. Let's see. It'd be nice if they just had, like, a list over what's new. Okay, so Hela has that one. Let's go have a look at that. I think she's had a couple of other new ones since last I looked. Ooh. Oh, hey, it's got colorways. Okay, but could we skip that, please? No? Okay. It has to come with the whole thing. Okay. All right. Oh, what? Really? If I click inspect? Oh my god. I get it! I've seen it now! Please let me skip these things! Alright. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is cool. Like, it's sort of a very basic sort of punk outfit. And I do appreciate, like, that they haven't made her look like 12 years old or whatever. Like, she does look like she's maybe a little bit too old to be wearing this, just in her proportions and the way that she's put together. I do like that. That she's getting to wear the skin as herself rather than a sort of altered version. But I don't know that I have that much commentary to add to it, really. It's just, she's wearing some fucking slightly mall punk, but like sort of punky shit. With, like, again, torn stockings, belts, chains, spikes. I do like the jacket. They could have made it more of a battle jacket. Like, they could have put some patches on there or something. Some skulls. Or whatever. Certainly. Oh, that. No, that. Nope. 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 You ruined it. You ruined it. That. No. You cannot have a character dress punk and then they have a fucking shoulder patch for the university that they go to? No. Nope. Fail. Fail on the premise. That. No. That's like having a punk with a cop badge. What are you doing? No, God, this is poser shit. This is poser shit. That should have been anything. Where are the skulls? She's the goddess of death, and she's a punk at the same time. Where are the skulls? Where's the death motifs? Where's the? Where are the bones and shit? Where's the fucking? Where are the knives and the... Yeah, no. You cannot give her a shoulder patch. Like she bought it at the university fucking gift store. Like, no. No. Oh, that's That's kind of a fatal blow. That is actually kind of a fatal blow. Like, that's... Because that's instant poser. Instant! She's not a rebel against any fucking thing. Instant poser. She has no fucking... She has no patches from shows. She has no band shit. She has no... anything, but she has a fucking logo patch for the university? Absolutely not. No, no. Fucking... You found all of that shit at Hot Topic now. Oh my god. Yeah, even if it was just like, that's part of the dress code, like someone, like, who says this in chat? Yeah, Marceline, just, if they had just made her scrawl all over it with a marker or something, like draw like a big ugly skull over it, or vandalize it in some way. Like, because it's supposed to be rebellion. You're supposed to be rebelling against school. School sucks. You're supposed to have listened to Alice Cooper once. Maybe not anymore, really. That's very old, but... Like, come on. No, no. Poser, poser, poser. Poser shit. I don't expect a Marvel Rivals cosmetic to be super credible as Punk, right? Like, because it can't be, because it's corporate, right? Of course it can't be actually for real Punk. Of course it can't. But, like, you could at least not put... fucking logo patch for the university. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know Helen, right? Always in trouble, late, scrappy, parking where she wants, graduation on hold. Even the teachers to your class. No, I don't. Fuck you. Oh, no. Oh, that just makes me upset, honestly. That's just upsetting. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, the whole fantasy falls apart instantly. The whole fantasy dies. Okay, yeah, cool, but... I do like that we've given him a Peter Parker skin. He's too hot. He's too hot. I'm sorry. Listen. Peter Parker, the whole point is that Peter is definitely hot, but he's a sleeper build. Peter Parker is a sleeper hot guy, right? He's like, once he fucking like gets in a tight shirt and you can yes, absolutely. But he's supposed to be a sleeper, right? He's supposed to be you could walk past this guy and he just looks like some fucking little dweeby photographer nobody. But you're not supposed to be able to clock that he's hot when you look at him for that jawline. That jawline and those cheekbones and these cute, like that cute little hairstyle. His hair is supposed to be a mess. It's not supposed to be cute. This is too hot. Too hot. I'm sorry, this is an Instagram model doing a Peter Parker cosplay. That's not Peter Parker. Like, Peter Parker never gets enough sleep. Peter Parker always has bags under his eyes. Peter Parker is always, like, shoving a hot dog into his mouth while running between classes that he's late for. Peter Parker is wearing, like, because there's stuff here I do like, right? I like that he's wearing an oversized jacket, right? I like that he's wearing an oversized jacket. I like that he's, like, got two shirts on at the same time because sleeper build, right? Because he's trying not to show off that he's got Spider-Man physique under there, right? Like, because he's trying to blend in, he's trying to look normal, he's trying to be normal, right? Because that's part of what Peter Parker wants most of all, is just to be a normal guy when he can. Every once in a while, when he doesn't have to be Spider-Man, he just wants to feel normal for a second, right? Like, that's a core part of the fantasy. Like, fuck his hair up, at least. At least fuck his hair up. Give him some bags under the eyes. Like, make him have a fucking pimple somewhere on his face that's just at the worst opportunity. Like, make him look a little bit lame. Right? Because, like, the fashion, I think, is okay. I think, like, the fucking jeans with, like, the bright red Converse and then, like, this huge, like, jacket, it could be a little more ratty. But like this huge jacket and like this sort of arm sleeve thing underneath, like, okay, yeah, that works for me. Like with the sweater over the like the untucked t-shirt into like the jeans is like, yes, okay, that looks a little bit like dude who's out in like who's a student in New York in late March or whatever when it's still a bit cold. Absolutely. Like the fashion I'm okay with. It's just that he's so fucking obviously a superhero. Like, this is so obviously a superhero wearing glasses to blend in, right? Get Clark Kent-ass motherfucker over here. Like, come the fuck on. Like, just like, anyone walks past this guy and doesn't clock that he's a fucking superhero in disguise is an idiot. Like, no, he's supposed to look a little bit of a fucking mess. He's supposed to look, and also because that makes him hotter. Like, to the kinds of people who are into that, if the nerd looks a little bit fucked up, if he looks a little bit, like, way too tired and distracted and, like, his hair is bad, like, a little bit shriveled, a little bit gaunt, right? Like, his cheeks are maybe a little bit sunken in. The kinds of people who are into this sort of nerd go feral for that shit. This is for people who post on Instagram. This, like, that's a little, too hot. Too hot. That's too, like, the fucking jawline. Come the fuck on. He should be a little more dweeby. Because you shouldn't be able to tell on sight. That's the point. Right? So, like, the hair and the glasses and the jawline doesn't work. Everything from, like, the collarbone down is fine. Is actually pretty effective. I like that he's a bit messy. I like that his jacket is a bit all over the place. I like that he has, like, a shoulder bag and an old-ass fucking film camera. I think the jeans could use a few holes. Like, I think, like, a few holes that he's patched up himself kind of vibe. Same thing with the jacket. The jacket could stand to be a little bit more ratty and cheap because Peter Parker never has money. Peter Parker is always kind of broke when he's not running Parker Industries for a while in the comics. Whatever the fuck that storyline was about. Peter's always a little bit fucked up. Peter's always a little bit broke. He's always a little bit, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, right? He's always dealing a little bit with a shitty landlord. Right, so he could be a little rattier. He could be a little bit more cheap looking in a few places, but like from the collarbone down, it's fine. But that face, no fucking way in hell. Literally no way in hell. Slutty little round glasses. No, no, no. I don't buy that. Like, I don't buy that. Huh, Spider Oni. I'm not gonna go through all the cosmetics I've missed, but I couldn't resist that fucking... Okay, I like the mask on that one. The mask on that one is cool. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't really seen any other... I'm mostly just looking at things that have popped up on my social media right now. Like, the ones that people seem to be excited about. Oh, Elsa. I have already done a review short of Elsa, so this is not really my first time seeing her. Her I have looked at already, unfortunately, so this is not really a reaction. But yeah, like, I can repeat some of the stuff I'm gonna say in the short when it gets published. Which is that this is a very functional skin. I feel like she could use a little battle damage here and there. Like, because this feels like a coat that's supposed to be torn around the edges, right? Because she's a monster hunter, right? Like, she has this fucking demon gun, right? I like the demon gun a lot as an element of a thing. Where I think she does an emote with it if I stick around. Yeah. Where, like, the gun is, like, pulling and trying to get away from her, and it wants to eat people's faces and shit, and she's sort of struggling with it. I like that. That thing feels like a cool element of someone who's a monster hunter, who sort of lives on her wits, and is, like, right at the edge of her competence all the time. I just feel like the coat should be a little torn. Like, Gambit has a torn coat, and it's a great feature of his character design that, like, oh yeah, this is the coat of someone who gets into trouble and scrapes and, like, gets away with the skin of his teeth. I feel like Elsa here could use some of the same. I do like the Devil May Cry ass vibe she has in general. Like, this feels like a spectacle fighter, right? This feels like a Devil May Cry-ass sort of character, at which point I'm sort of okay with the flashiness of it, because that feels like part of the point. Even if, like, I think she could use some more exciting pants, rather than just these plain black nothings. Like, because, like, the fact it's got, like, a fucking gun holster on her thigh, that's good. I would kind of be looking for, like, a knife in her boot, or something. Again, some battle damage here, right? Across the, like, where the pants have been torn open by a monster claw or whatever. Could do something to break up this boring, flat surface that's here. Like, it's good for contrast against her shirt, right? Like, and the coat is supposed to be sort of the main interesting element, but Angela got a new skin, someone said in chat. I guess this one? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen all the others before. Yeah. I mean, okay, she's got a different spear. Yeah, this isn't really interesting to me. This feels very basic. And I don't think that armor works with her physique. Look at the fucking way the armor is made of rubber on her because her posing is so extreme. Yeah, that armor doesn't really work very well on her, does it? Yeah, it's kind of boring. Like, it sort of has the same... Like, Angela here, I already talked about in my review of her that she kind of has the problem that all of this gold is so uniform. I wanted it there to be, like, at least one more tone, right? Like, so that, like, here with where you have this silver and cerulean, that maybe a darker burnished gold or some shit like that, something to sort of break up that color surface. This is just more of that. Like, this is just even more of just these flat, very undifferentiated surfaces. And now it doesn't even have the interesting, like, because here there's so much interesting, like, fucking geometry happening in her arm in this one, and then you look at this one and it's like, oh yeah, no, let's get rid of that, and it's just gold. This is very flat. I'm not really into that. Deadpool got his maid outfit. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at that one. Oh, just Deadpool with a t-shirt. I mean, I hope they don't charge more than a couple of dollars for that one, but it's an esports. It's an esports skin. I see. Okay. In that case, this feels okay for Deadpool, but maybe that's a little lame. Oh, he's got for all of the esports skins. Okay, they're getting kind of a lot of mileage out of that one fucking t-shirt. Yeah, alright, sure. Alright, fine. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we talked about performativity, right? I do like that he's in his underpants, but it's not panties, right? Like, it's his fucking little heart briefs that he wears. And it's got these little fucking cozies around his shoes. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, and the swords are magical girl wands, because of course they are. Jesus. The only thing that would make this perfect is if his tail was very obviously a butt plug. That, I feel like that would complete it. But yeah, no, this is... I mean, what am I supposed to say about it? This is what it is. It is what it is. And the only way that a Deadpool joke ever works, right? Like, the only way that anything like this ever works is if you commit to it 110%. And, like, yeah, they did. They did. They committed to it. They didn't back off. Like, the only way they could commit to it more is if he was actually wearing lingerie underneath instead of... But no, yeah, that's Deadpool with a maid outfit and his boxer briefs over his regular suit. Yep, sure. Why not? Does it come with an MVP? It does. Yeah, all right. The liquid physics coming out of those guns, it's a little, it's okay, I'm not reading that out loud, but... Okay, yeah, sure. Secret sauce. I will say, it's distressing how fucking good that looks. That looks delicious up until, you know, but... The only thing that would make this better, literally the only thing that would make this better, is if he was obviously trying to serve this to Spider-Man. Like if it was Peter that he was trying to, like if it was Peter that'd been dragged into this shit. Yeah, yep, yips. So, part of what makes this so funny is, one of the things about this is it does illuminate, right? It illuminates just how weird the body language is in this sort of slightly porn-brained anime girl maid outfit, cat girl shit. I think it illuminates just how bizarre the body language is that we sort of accept as normal for these kinds of things, because now when it's Wade doing it, like 12 tons of beef, right? Like in there, he is ultimately a very buff dude. It's sort of like you can see how unstable this stance is. You can see how affected and postured it is. It does reveal the parody a little bit, right? But yeah, that's Deadpool. Like, it works if you commit. It works if you commit 110%. And God help us all, they do. God help us all, they do. Goodness gracious. Do they ever. And you can get it in full pink. Good. Very good. I mean, because otherwise, what would be the point, right? If you couldn't get it in full pink. Again, Marvel Rivals, like, it's a game that genuinely does seem to have an eye for camp. It's a game that genuinely does seem to have an eye for the burlesque. and which applies it to superheroes with like varying levels of success, but when they make it work, they really do make it work. I was wondering if Magik had a new skin. Disco, I guess. Okay, I like the disco ball helmet on that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not really 100% disco, is it? Like, it's sort of missing the tassels. It's missing a little bit of the lameness of disco. It's kind of a little bit too cool for disco. And I say that with love, but disco was like... Disco had a very intentional, deliberate lameness to it. Which a lot of things that are sort of supposed to be disco aesthetic, they can't resist looking a little bit too cool. Where disco was always deliberately a little bit cheesy, a little bit chintzy, a little bit tacky. I like the disco ball mask. I like the glitter all over the chest. I think that's pretty good. Again, if there was a little bit more like glitter all over the chest, more tassels, more outrageousness, just a little bit more, right? Because like the fucking leg warmers and arm warmers are a little bit more 80s. Like not so much 70s, I think. Not a bad skin by any means. Like, and she does look sexy, so there's that. But it sort of misses a little of the tackiness of disco. A little bit of the outrageousness. Did anyone else get skins that are... Okay, so there was that new Luna Snow skin. What is that? Oh, interesting. I guess that's her university thing. I kind of like the sort of like the they're not bell bottoms, they are loose fit, like whatever. I like that. I like that they're sort of loose bunching up around her feet. I like that shape, because that's a big change in her shape language, right? Luna Snow, generally, she's very like very thin in the legs and feet, right? Like very like she's sort of on ice skates a little bit. It's like this is like a big change. She's a lot more bottom heavy here in terms of like her shape language. That's an interesting. That makes her look a lot more relaxed. Like, this looks so postured, right? Like, she looks like she's a dancer. She looks like she's always standing there, almost on tiptoe. Because she is, because of the fucking heels she's got for whatever reason. Because she's a pop star. But this looks very postured, posed. Just because the pants are so much more relaxed in the fit, she looks a lot more chill here. Like, it's kind of a testament to the power of fashion, right? Just by changing the clothes that she's wearing and changing the fit of them, her whole vibe comes across as much more casual, much more relaxed, much more chill, versus this, which is much more of a sort of performative, like it looks like she's on stage, like expecting the gaze of an audience, and this feels more like she's just kind of hanging out and vibing. Testament to the power of fashion as part of character design. It also helps, like, with the jacket, hoodie, whatever this is, that she's tied around her waist, which is very loose, right? Again, because Luna Snow, her fashion is very tight most of the time. It sits very tight on her body. It sits very tight around her form. It's very sharp in its shape language because of the ice thing that she's got going on. This, because it's so much softer, because it's so much looser, yeah, that really does change the vibe of the character to the point that I couldn't recognize her at all. I mean, like, if not for the two-toned hair, I could believe that this is just Luna Snow in a civilian identity with a wig. right? Like when she doesn't want to be recognized. Because I wouldn't necessarily recognize those two as the same person. That's a solid disguise. Okay, I'm sure there's 100 million more skins in there that I haven't looked at, but I kind of wanted this to be a shorter video on my channel, and given that it's only an hour and 45 minutes long, I feel like this is a breezy, easy, simple, short little thing. Just, you know, just like for someone on a lunch break, or if they're in the bathroom, taking a bathroom break, you can pop this video on, get through it, no problem. Like, waste company time. That's my advice. That's my message to you. Wait, no, hang on. Someone said that Jeff the Land Shark got a maid skin? Okay, that'll be the last one. Oh my god. Oh, fuck you. No, that's too cute. Oh, fuck you. That's too cute. Fuck off. That's stupid adorable. Jeff is already cute. He's all... That is... The cat ears. The little floppy cat ears? Oh, fuck off. And the little ribbon bow around his fucking... No, fuck off. Yeah. I don't know how to have much of a review of this. That... Yeah, no, that's cute. That's adorable. Does that come with an MVP? It does. That is stupid cute. Fuck off. Like, and it's a personal taste thing about whether this is too much, whether this, again, it leans into camp. Like, it leans into a kitschiness that I appreciate about Marvel Rivals, but fuck off. That's so cute. Like, that's so cute it gets gross a little bit. Like, that's the kind of... I could see a lot of people bouncing off of this really hard because it's way too fucking much. But that's cute. I have to imagine this one goes with that. Yeah, they know what they've got. They know what they've got with Jeff. They know what they've got. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, that's the end of the video.